Was a great test match that we witnessed, and of course beating England by 336 runs. And of course the guys are still joining me so we can unpack what a marvel we witnessed there in England. Victor?
Yeah, wonderful test match. I think wonderful character by India first to level the series. They'll be kicking themselves. I think a lot of errors that they made in the first test match. They would drop too many catches, and obviously the lower order didn't come to play. But Gill comes here and he scores 200s already in the series. We spoke about with Vian Mulder already scoring almost 400s, but this guy's got over 400 runs in one test match, and the impact of that innings was just outstanding. But they outplayed England in the second test match.
Gill broke all sorts of records. I mean, it was such a great knock to see from him.
Yeah, it was incredible to watch. I mean, when he came in, he was under a little bit of pressure too. You know, they'd lost 2 quick wickets, and you know, it's a difficult place to go when England have got their tails up. They hunt in packs, and you know, once that crowd's behind their bowling unit, it's quite difficult to score some runs. But the composure he showed, and you know, obviously getting that 100 in the first test as captain, but you know, to come and do what he did, double 100, almost triple 100, and then to follow it up in the second innings, and the calmness that he showed. You can see the celebration there, a little bit more than Vian Mulder as test captain, but yeah, look, he was unbelievable, and the array of shots that he played, it was. Also, I think it was chanceless as well, this innings, both innings. So you know, to come out and do that as captain when your team is under pressure and do it against a bowling attack like England, who have got their tails up after winning in that first test, is an unbelievable thing to see. And you know, all I can say is you worry about the next few test matches for England, because he's definitely.
Of course, he is the leading run scorer, 565 runs. I mean, also the control percentage that he had, I think it was 93%. That speaks about his calmness, his composure, and how he's able to approach those innings so well.
Yeah, he's just a quality player. I mean, this guy coming into this test match would have probably felt pressure. I mean, a lot of question marks about how he captained in the first innings. What could they have done differently? But I mean, he's come here under some pressure, and he's actually led with the bat. He's put them in a very strong position. I mean, to get over 500 runs and then come back, they got more runs in the second innings, where the way England played in the first innings, they got close to that game. And if they put India under pressure, they might just win the game, because that's how England play. But he made sure that he's there in the second innings. He gets another 100, make sure that he bats England out of the game. That was so important, and a lot of question about, did they take long to declare? They didn't, because most importantly, they got the 3 wickets in day number 4, and then obviously finished the job in the last day. But he led them all, and as I said, he's really batted superbly so far in this series.
And someone who has been bowling quite well in the bowling side of things, Akashdeep, 10 wickets. Chris?
Yeah, incredible. I mean, look, there was a lot of like naysayers and former players having a go at the Indian coaching staff, saying, you got the best bowler in the world, Bumrah, not playing. You know, you've got a 7-day break. Surely you should be fresh enough to play in the second test match. And Akashdeep's come in and just absolutely cleaned their pipes. You know, he's the type of bowler that would do well in England, because he gets the ball to swing, he lands it on a ticky. You can see Sherrod's obviously doing his business in the first innings too, getting 6. But for them to bowl England out twice on quite a good wicket, because, you know, you don't score that many runs and not being a good wicket, for them just to play the conditions as well as that, be as consistent as they did. And you can see a lot of the balls, they bowled a lot of off-cutters at Akashdeep. And for them to do this, and the bowling unit to come up and step up without Bumrah, you know, first of all, you have to applaud the coaching staff and saying, well, they were under pressure because they haven't won a test match in so long, Gautam Gambhir and his staff. But second of all, to back their players and the players to back their coaching staff and show them why they selected is unbelievable.
Do you think England has got it wrong with the pitches that they play?
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because, you know, in England, you expect the ball to move around, but you make it slightly drier, and all of a sudden, Jadeja and Washington Sundar, who aren't the worst on a dry pitch, will come in and play. So it's a difficult one. But, look, I think you hit the nail on the head. Outplayed 1-1 going into the third test. It's mouth-watering.
As we wrap up, what can we expect in the third test, Vic? I mean, Jasprit Brewer is coming back.
I think India is definitely in a much better position than what England has. I think India will go 2-1 up in the next test.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
2-1 up, Bumrah back at Lords. You know, England struggle at Lords. India are going to clean them up 2-1 up.
Oh, look at that. That's what we love hearing. Okay, so we look forward to that third test match between India and England. And that wraps up the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Inside Edge Reloaded. Thank you to our gents, Victor Peter and Chris Morris. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon. But for you at home, interact with us on social media. Our hashtag is SSCricket and continue letting us know on the best moments throughout all these test matches that we have been watching. And we'll see you next time on the show.
Castle Lager incoming series, only on Supersport.
On track, it's the men's 800 metres.
So, this is a massive opportunity for Josh Hoey. He's the second fastest in history. He's been incredible this season. Could he do something special here to round off the indoor campaign?
So 6 athletes, and which 3 of them love.
We're expecting this to be blisteringly quick. The men's 800-metre world indoor final. Every single one of these men more than capable of mounting a big challenge. And Crestan wasn't afraid to get his elbows out there. Coming past Miller, the American in third. And it's Hoey, 24.5 for the first 200 metres. Crestan trying to go with him. Miller in third. Dragrida of Uganda in fourth. But watch for Canales. The Spaniard in fifth finished with an extraordinary burst of speed. If he's anywhere close, maybe, just maybe, he could do something special.
Brandon Miller goes for the overtake as they go through 400 metres in 50.63. That is so quick. Brandon Miller, I think he has a lot of speed, but he can do himself damage when he uses it too early. Josh Hoey responding almost immediately. Miller fighting him off. The Americans going side by side with 300 to go. Crestan lurking, trying to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong for the two Americans.
And don't rule out Canales because he's in fourth. They've been tearing chunks off each other, these two Americans. It's Hoey from Miller, Crestan in fourth, Canales in fifth. So, Hoey, arms driving, but Crestan's closing the gap here. The Belgian coming wide on the outside. He's gone past Miller. Canales is closing in fourth. Can Hoey hang on? He went so fast, so early. Hoey on the inside. Crestan driving for the line, but the American holds on just by the width of a chest. Wow, what a race. 1:44.79. Hoey very nearly came unstuck there because the pace early on was absolutely savage. Crestan the silver. Canales richly deserves his bronze. Miller's legs went from under him because he made that move to go past Hoey, too far away from the finish. Canales was magnificent and deserves his moment on the podium. Crestan very nearly stole the Hoey show, but the American follows Bryce Hoppel as a world indoor champion over 800 metres. The Belgians should be delighted with that. It was a great run. It was only Hoey's raw speed that managed to get him home. It was too fast, too early, and he nearly paid a big price for that.
Hats off to Josh Hoey. I think he needed every bit of that fitness of that wonderful 143 he's done previously in the season to hold on to that gold medal. And I don't know if he would have expected Brandon Miller to disrupt the race so much like that as they came through 400 metres. Elliot Crestan, 12 months ago in Glasgow, I feel like he got sucked into running everyone else's race. He came into there as one of the pre-event favourites, went into the lead, and then he squeezed. Every time someone came up on his shoulder, he tried to respond, and then he was vulnerable and pushed down to the bronze medal position. So to be upgraded to silver is perfect. And Elvin Josue Canales, he's worn that title. He broke the Spanish national record. He was the world leader for a long time until Josh Hoey got going, and it almost looked like that pressure played on his mind at the European Championships and on the circuit kind of throughout February. So for Canales to carry that early season form all the way to a global podium, I think shows so much experience that he's gained in such a short amount of time. But Josh Hoey, he just had the fitness just by 400ths to hold off Crestan, and Canales didn't care. He had a quick look around and raised his hands.
Ngunomfundo Anxumalo ngifuna grade 12 eKhombindlela. Mina inetball ngiyafisa ukuthi ngise emazweni aphezulu ngize ngicine sengifana noBungwe Msomi khona ngizokwazi uexperience nami ngibuye ngizofundisa abanye ngasekhaya.
Winning in her words, a celebration of the DSTV Schools Netball Challenge.
A very good morning to you and welcome to Supersport's ongoing coverage then of Orlando Pirates pre-season campaign or pre-season program as they come up against the Cypriot champions Pafos in their second match as part of this pre-season build-up and the camp that they are currently on in the resort town of Marbella. We at the Marbella Football Center. That's where this match is happening. As you can see, the Pirates started it all with a 2-0 defeat against the third-tier side of the English third-tier side, the Bolton Wanderers, going down by 2-0 there. Conceding 2 goals from set pieces either side of the halftime break. And so this will be their second outing against the Cypriots, who would have made a short trip from Cyprus to come and continue their build-up to the season. Alongside me for this one this morning is William Shongwe, the cool cat. As bid you good morning, William Shongwe, and get just your thoughts on what the mood is, and talk to us about what the mood is in camp when these teams. Pirates have recently reassembled for preseason. It was 10 days ago, and now given this opportunity to go and use some of the best training facilities in the world. But what will be going through the players' minds? I'm sure there's a lot of new players for Pirates, a lot of excitement about a new environment, also a lot of anxiety, I'm sure, also being in a new environment.
First of all, just the privilege of being able to have this opportunity to play in a friendly match of this magnitude. It is one thing to have preseason, but at home it's like you play the usual teams, but this time you're given the opportunity to actually travel to Europe. And this is where basically the best of the world gets to arrive to play or to do their preseason. So as a coach, I'm talking wider now, the new coach of Orlando Pirates will get to experience what it is to play some of the teams like there's teams from South America, there's teams from the USA, there's teams from Asia, there's teams from Europe. So you get to play all the different styles. But Wadu, if you talk Wadu, who's had the experience of playing in Africa, of course, for Morocco, and who has had the privilege to play in Europe, in the English Premiership. So he'll be used to this type of environment. But for the players, that is, I think, the most important part, to get the experience. If you fare well in this type of tournament, as Pirates have done in previous season, that kind of set the mood for the rest of the season. I think that is what the coach would like to be given the opportunity to at least go through.
And it's an opportunity, of course, to have a look at all the players at his disposal now. Lots of new arrivals for Orlando Pirates, 10 players no less, that have signed in the off-season. And, well, there's reason to believe there could be more signings coming, and then maybe there could be players who will yet make their way out of the door at Orlando Pirates. And indeed, there have already been those that have been released, whether it be on loan or permanent moves away from the club. As you take a look at, we'll take you through the lineups. As you can see, the Orlando Pirates have made quite a number of changes from the team that started against the Bolton Wanderers, 5 to be precise. Oswin Appollis, Yanela Mbuthuma gets his first run out. Appollis came off the bench against the Bolton Wanderers. Kabelo Dlamini gets a first run out as the Thalente Mbatha, and Deano Van Rooyen also gets a run out at right back in place of Bandi Leshanu. And then you see Nkosinathi Sibisi again will be leading the team as captain of the starting lineup. We're expecting that in the second half, we are told by Pirates that they will be fielding almost an entirely changed side, with only Mbekezeli Mbokazi expected to play the full 90 minutes. So we'll see. I expect that we'll see the same as the coaches here exchanging shirts. Juan Carlos Caicedo is the man in charge of this Pafos FC side, who won their maiden Cyprian Championship last season at the end of the 24-25 season, and will be has qualified for the CAF, rather for the UEFA Champions League for the very first time. It's a team with only 12-year history, really. Formed in 2014 when two teams merged. So when it comes to pedigree, there's a vast gulf in class between these two clubs. Orlando Pirates, a team that are almost 90 years old, a team with multiple titles in South Africa, a team that has won the CAF club competitions in the Champions League, albeit it's been 30 years, and they fell agonizingly close to the final last time out when they lost in the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League.
But
good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Let's go!
The world's best football on the world's best football package. DSTV Compact. It's on.
So then, as we await the kickoff between these two sides in this practice match, and I think it's important as we see Juan Carlos Caicedo there taking his place on a chair in the shade. He's a Spaniard. He's been in charge of this team since was first appointed in July 2023. So 2 years he's been in charge of his side. As you have a look at Abdeslam Wadu, man, also recently the Moroccan who was signed, at least who was signed recently as coach, taking over from Spaniard Jose Rivero, who's now in charge of Al Ali in Egypt. So working with Mandla Ncikazi, opting to work with somebody who already was familiar to the players and to the entire environment of the club.
Very important, obviously, to have a little bit of background into what this team is all about, and it doesn't get any better than getting a previous assistant who was there to be able to lead you through. And I'm sure with a little bit of time, you'll be able to make your own decision as well as a coach to say which way it's going to go, particularly with the new players that have only just been signed. But you must know that he must have an influence to some of the players that were recently signed. I know he only just resigned, but I can tell you a story that he spoke to me about last season already, about some of his interests. And at that stage, I didn't have a clue that he was moving away from Marumo Gallants. But here he is now with some of those players that we're discussing with him.
Well, it's been given his biggest challenge as coach as we are underway here at the Marbella Football Center. Orlando Pirates in an all-black strip, attacking the goals to the left of your picture. Pafos, the Cyprus champions, in an all-white strip for this morning's exercise in limbering up here. Now, so Orlando Pirates look very good, and in the first half against Bolton Wanderers kept the ball nicely. But Bolton Wanderers also decided to sit off them and allow them to have the ball in the first half. Second half, but Bolton Wanderers became more adventurous, started to apply the press, and also, exploited some frailties that we have seen in recent times at set-piece time for Orlando Pirates, and that's where they got their 2 goals. Sipho Mbule looked very good in his first outing as well, ever so elegant on the ball.
I guess that's the best way you can use to describe him. Always affords himself that additional second that you don't know where it came from, even no matter what the pressure or what kind of pressure the opposition does apply. And it's just that kind of player that brings calmness in that middle of the park, where this place is always congested with so many players.
He shows how you always somehow gets a little bit of time, extra time on the ball. That's a mark of most good players or talented players. You can see they just have that, seem to have a little bit, a second extra, about 5 seconds extra on the ball than anybody else does. See things before they can happen. Now, his talent has never been in doubt, Sipho Mbule. He's been given a massive platform here to show what he's got. Playing for one of the country's biggest clubs.
I can confirm right now that was exactly the player that he was inquiring about. And with all the problems that were said around Mbule, but he promised that he'll be able to manage him. And that's how confident and that's how much he felt that he needed a player of his quality in his team that will make good use of whatever experience and whatever quality that Mbule brings. And that's the opportunity he got. Let's see what the coach can do with him.
Signed, of course, from Mamelodi Sundowns after spending a season on loan at Sekhukhune United. Sibisi gets that one to touch for a throw-in, and coming off Muamer Tankovic, who is a Swedish international attacker.
And one of the things that you can expect from Pafos is the fact that just their close proximity to Europe, obviously tactically they'll be a lot higher, and the speed of the ball will be something else that Pirates will have to deal with. And it doesn't matter whether this is preseason, but you'll expect that legally additional speed into the way that they play. And the high press when they got the ball, or immediately when they lose it, up in the attacking phase of the game.
It's been proper summer conditions. Temperatures are hovering in the mid-20s.
Pirates won't be left too far behind in as far as their quality. If you talk about a team that has been featuring prominently in the CAF Champions League, so the quality playing with the northern sides, the teams up in North Africa, gives you that same experience as European standard.
Even though they played against what essentially Bolton Wanderers plays in League One in England, which is the third tier, the tier in English football, but the standard is still incredibly high.
I mean, so much can be said about Pafos. The fact that in a league of 36 matches per season, they won 26 and they accumulated a number of about 82 points, TT. That tells you the quality. And against those, only 26 goals conceded. No, 21 in fact. So there's quality in this team. Make no mistake.
It's indeed the case. Very big, good season that they had as they won their very first ever title in Cyprus and qualifying for the for the UEFA Champions League. Play continuing here with a free kick for Orlando Pirates. First opportunity to have a look at Thanos Papadoudis in goal for Pafos, as really lets it go for Kabelo Dlamini. Not the best delivery from him, and Pafos can break here, and there's a possibility he's gonna, this powerful looking run, he's gonna go all the way here. This is a great counter attack here from Pafos, chance to finish it off. What a wonderful goal, how to turn defense into attack. Joao Correa applies the finishing touch, but give credit to Derek Lucas in the Ghanaian who burst through the middle there. Wonderful running there from the Ghanaian, and what a beautifully constructed goal.
Indeed, it's just the speed of attack, I think, is what you'll be able to speak a bit more on what happened. Catching Orlando Pirates on the front foot and unable to recover into a defensive position. China felt like, yes, it was hit hard, and maybe close proximity from where the shot was taken made it difficult for him to react to it, but it wasn't too far. You expect a goalkeeper of his caliber to be able to react better in that instance, but take nothing from the quality of the shot.
Joao Correa, the Portuguese winger, opening the scoring then for the Cypriots, and it's only taken 6 minutes for us to get the opening goal of the match here. So once again, Orlando Pirates will find themselves having to chase the game. Were ruthlessly exposed there on the counter. Apologies for the loss of pictures intermittently there. We hope you are getting our pictures now. It's a tremendous illustration there of how you turn defense into attack.
Particularly if you've just lost ball position, Orlando Pirates in this case, if you're unable to apply the high press immediately, you lose it. These are the opportunities that a quality team like Pafos can take.
Supersport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports updates 365 days a year.
Thalente Mbatha delivers again.
With a team of journalists and presenters at sports venues around the world, we've got you covered.
Lots and lots of excitement and an historic event because for the very first time we'll have two current IBO champions coming to a head.
Stay informed with all our previews and reviews.
Always tough matches against her, but I'm glad that I was able to close this match in straight sets.
Stay ahead with fixtures, results, logs and broadcast times for every major local and international sporting event 24 hours a day as sports news unfolds. Stay in touch and follow us on X for all your sporting headlines on Africa's premier sports info channel. Supersport Blitz, proudly brought to you by ABSA. Supersport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports updates 365 days a year.
Thalente Mbatha delivers again.
With a team of journalists and presenters at sports venues around the world, we've got you covered.
Lots and lots of excitement and an historic event because for the very first time we'll have two current IBO champions coming to a head.
Stay informed with all our previews and reviews.
Always tough matches against her, but I'm glad that I was able to close this match in straight sets.
Stay ahead with fixtures, results, logs and broadcast times for every major local and international sporting event 24 hours a day as sports news unfolds. Stay in touch and follow us on X for all your sporting headlines on Africa's premier sports info channel. Supersport Blitz, proudly brought to you by Toyota.
In 2024, we came, we saw, we conquered. Oh, look at Vic. Vic is excited. People are saying, what are they doing? It's so awesome. We did okay on the field too.
The Springboks prevail once again.
Final Whistle side entry is back for the new season with a bomb squad full of special guests because talking about the green and gold never gets old. Join us on the Final Whistle side entry show, giving you all you need to know about all things Springboks. Proudly brought to you by FNB.
Each week, Supersport Schools hooks you up with the front row seats to the future of South African sport. On Sundays at 6, Alex and the crew go beyond the scoreboard to reveal the untold stories of school sports.
I think I would have learned this by now, that you were going to pick just over or just under.
Mondays at 8, we get to the heart of youth football. Today, I'm ripping the national team, yeah. Tuesdays at 7, we're all about rugby as Alex, Spud and Coach Cooks link up with the next wave of emerging talent.
Well, dust off the cassette player, pop on.
Now, attempt from range there. Tankovic testing Sipho Chaine. Muamer Tankovic, the Swedish international, operating down the left-hand side of attack here. One of the more experienced members of this Pafos side, 30-year-old.
Yeah, look at the average number of years. I think both is around 25, 26. They've got a lot of experience that comes with this team. So this is a team that has been together for a while. Obviously, they've injected a few new players just to bring down maybe the average years. But definitely, if you talk experience, they're right up there with the best in the country.
Once again, let's apologize for the poor quality of pictures. Our technicians are working on it to try and sort out the problem as the Orlando Pirates look to come forward now. Van Rooyen chasing down that right-hand side. He's done well. He's kept it in play. Good running here from Deano Van Rooyen, and he goes down. Referee says play on. Nothing wrong with the challenge now. A chance again for Pafos to break.
In a case where the fullback is pushed that high, I'm talking Van Rooyen in this case, and if the attack breaks down, it means now the midfielders have got to be in a position to adjust to how they protect that right-hand side of the attackable parts. This is where maybe the link is missing. I think that's where that goal came from, the left-hand side.
Now, good looking run here again down that left-hand side. Is such at Korea is looking a real dangerous player. A man who's got the only goal of the game so far. Now, this is Tankovic again popping up on the right side here. Derek Lucassen was the man who made that break. He had the assist for the opening goal. Derek Lucassen, who's a Ghanaian. See, Lucassen is of Derek, the Ghanaian ancestry, but born in the Netherlands to Ghanaian parents. He's capped for the Netherlands at under 18 and under 21, under 18, under 19, under 20, and under 21 levels.
You'll be surprised, Titi, that there's also Bruno Langa, who's Mozambican. He's not in the starting lineup. And it'll be interesting just to see if we can get to see him at some stage.
Yes, indeed. Is he not Zimbabwean? I actually thought, actually right here, Mozambican.
Yes.
The Mozambican international on the bench. It's a sprinkling of either players of from Africa or of African descent. likes of Lucasen that has just mentioned. Also Mamadou Kane from Mustafa Name, a Senegalese player who's recently been signed. Now could be a chance here for Pirates, and just hooked it wide there. Promising situation from Mbuthuma. Signed from Richards Bay FC, and that's a big reward for what really was his best season so far in the Premier League of South Africa. It was his breakout season, and his performances at Richards Bay caught the eye, and also caught the eye of the national team coach as well, because also earned himself his first ever call-up to the national team. Did Yanela Mbuthuma. Could be something on again. Yeah! Again, the keeper this time makes down to make a good save to Deon Mbokazi.
It's opening up a bit for Orlando Pirates. Beginning to put a bit of pressure into the defense of Pafos. And I guess maybe it's that beginning stage of a game where they were quite a bit flat. The coach now need to review the warm-up. I know sometimes when the heat is that bad, they tend to do a little bit of a slow warm-up because you don't want to tax the players too much before the game starts. And it's always touch and go in situations where the weather can play an impact.
And it comes away by the Anderson Oliveira, the big forward who's back helping out in defense there. Kabelo Dlamini lining it up again. Goes short, gets the return ball. Now floats something in. Chance here, and the referee had spotted something as Mbokazi tried to get onto that one. And what?
Brilliant season he had last year. I know he only started like halfway through the season, but it was amazing how he cycled so quickly that it became such a big factor into the Orlando Pirates defensive line, and it looks like he's going to continue that way come this new season.
Yeah, did very well. 19-year-old in his first season. One of the standout players for Orlando Pirates in the second half of the season. That's when he started to get most of his opportunities.
Now let's look at what happened here. Was it a handball? I think that's what was picked up as the ball drop.
Oh, it's a great ball there to the right-hand side, and a chance for Pirates here to get back on level terms. Relebohile Mofokeng finishes it with a plum. Wonderful ball to release him, though. And Pirates get back on level terms.
You'll be excited even better, TT, because he is often coming on the left-hand side playing as an inverted, but this time he comes on to the right-hand side. Remember, this Appollis, who's plays on the same position on the left-hand side. So it's beautiful to see him being able to adjust into a new position, obviously using his little frame there to protect the
ball from the bigger.
Yes.
From a much bigger defender there.
And finishes with his left.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Ken Seema, it was who was all over the back of Relebohile Mofokeng, and looks like he'll also take the opportunity to have a cooling break. So great recovery just in the last 5 minutes or so. Orlando Pirates coming back into the game nicely after conceding that early goal.
It definitely came with the run of play, and they seem to have tackled a little bit better, and beginning to push the ball beautifully through the middle. And Mbule was also getting to be a bit more involved as the game progresses. So obviously we want to see a bit more of him if he can adjust quickly. I remember it's the same preseason tournament that set the brilliant player from Tembisa, Tito. This is the kind of game preseason that he used to settle in for Orlando Pirates, and when he came into South Africa for the new season, he was very explosive and had a beautiful season. I guess Mbule can look forward to the same situation.
So, yeah, cooling break. I did mention that it is a hot and sunny day, 25 degrees Celsius, clear skies. So it is a brutal heat out there in Marbella, which is in Malaga, in the south of Spain. Not too far, actually, from Morocco. And they got off to the perfect start. Korea opening the scoring after a brilliantly worked goal from on the counter. And then Orlando Pirates, beautiful pass from Kabelo Dlamini. That's what he does, of course. He's got an eye for a pass. An excellent run from Mofokeng. Composure again to finish.
The first touch for me was very key to set the ball a bit forward, to go past the defender. And from there, it was a question of the defender bringing him down. You're talking about Seema, who's a big boy on the left full-back position. And but how Mofokeng was able to just get in front of him to say, okay, touch me now. And you know, if you do that, I'm going to go down that easily, and it's going to result in a penalty. So caution, of course, applied in the hope that the goalkeeper was going to be able to defend it, but a well-taken shot to bend it into the far post.
Yeah, it's always going to be interesting to see how, with the arrival of Oswin Appollis, how Relebohile Mofokeng would play. And now we've just seen an illustration of how else Orlando Pirates can move and can use him as he popped up on the right-hand side. Not a situation you find him in a lot of times. He tends to come from the left-hand side. As Kabelo Dlamini there with some advice for the new boy, Yanela Mbuthuma. As Kabelo Dlamini being the man who's the conductor there of, and maybe probably telling him in the type of runs he wants him to make. We're back underway here then at the Marbella Football Center. 1-1 now.
Kabelo Dlamini could be saying, listen, son, trust me, I'll make you famous. I'm the one with the pass. So just stick around a little bit longer. I'll show you how it's done. That point, the point I'm making, of course, is the fact that if you look at how successful he was at Richards Bay with a team that plays a bit more on the back foot, and yet he half the time was isolated up there in the attacking phase of the game, and yet he created enough havoc for the opposition. And if you're going to get the supply that the attackers of Orlando Pirates normally get with the quality they do have coming from the midfield, so certainly we'll see. We are hoping to see even better from Mbuthuma.
Yep. Indeed, he's now finds himself in an environment where he can actually thrive upfield as a full-on out-and-out striker without expending a lot of energy chasing the ball and so forth. As you say, at Richards Bay, a team that tended to play a lot without the ball. There's Korea there, fouled by Van Rooyen. There's Van Rooyen looking for options there. Mbokazi. Kabelo Dlamini with a heavy touch there, but Hotto recovers it.
Appollis.
Appollis.
I'm just
This must actually... Right, here's Mbokazi again. Laying it back to his goalkeeper, Chaine.
Just try to imagine the skill of Appollis and his speed, of course, the trickery nature that he brings. And then on the other side, you have Mofokeng. Man, those wide positions are going to be incredibly interesting for Orlando Pirates.
Again, yeah, Appollis is another one who tends to... We've only ever seen him operate down the left.
Yes.
And now it's been down to Mofokeng here, who's been asked to show what he can do down the right-hand side. I'm just trying to think. Let's try to thread the ball through now forward. They've made it's Nikita Pavlos down this Pavlovsky. On this, he's the man who's out on. It's just been bundled out into touch there. Take a look at what happens here. Yeah, Mbokazi going in with a foot up. I think he caught him as he came down.
And there could be a possible card there because it starts with showing, and it was a very high leg. Let's see how the ref would have viewed that one.
I didn't like that challenge at all there, Pavlovsky. No, the physios have to come on, the medics have to come on and assist him. Of course, the last thing you want as a player is to be picking up an injury in preseason. And this doesn't look good. When the boot comes off, it's not usually a very good sign. Yeah, I think he was caught there.
And I know it's only the, for some it's the second week of preseasons, for some it's the third. And so the competitive stage hasn't quite settled in for the whole team. So you've got players that are maybe a little ahead of others. You're talking about reaction speed, but also strength. Some maybe cautionary measures applied when they're going into tackles, which is always a high risk. And players are advised at this stage in time not to go all out for fear of injuries.
Back underway here. It looks like it'll still be down to 10 men for now. Well, Pafos, while that man receives treatment on the side. Pavlovsky, Nikita Pavlovsky. Here's Correa. Skillful looking player, Cabo Verde international.
Yeah.
Who hails from, born in Portugal, as there were so many people that, or so many of the players that have represented Cabo Verde over the years. With born in Portugal. Lots of them born in Portugal.
I remember the story of Bruno Metsu, the Frenchman, who, when he got the opportunity to coach in Senegal, he also went abroad to pick a whole lot of the Senegalese who were already holding, some of them holding French passport, say, because of your origin, come home and play. And that's when Senegal rose up to the plate to really be competitive in the African nations and continue to produce excellent players that featured prominently in Europe.
Yeah, that, of course, Cabo Verde is an island in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's not too far as well, actually, from Senegal.
Yeah.
So that's also over the years provided a lot of players who have qualified either for Senegal or for Cabo Verde or France.
Yes.
I think over the years, even if you go way back to the French international, who started for many years for Arsenal, that's Patrick Vieira.
Yes.
Who played for France, but could have played for Senegal or Cabo Verde. Well stolen here, well read, and now a chance again for Pafos. And well read there in defense by Sibisi to cut it out. Now a chance to fire one from distance. In the end, a tricky one was serving. Keeper nearly caught out there.
Trying to look quickly, what was that? Was it Mbatha with his usual long range shots?
Looked like it, yeah. Good pressing here from Orlando Pirates. First time we've really seen them apply that press to great effect, and it could be a chance here to completely Mbuthuma that got caught in possession. Referee will come and looks like he got himself a minor injury. Nothing too serious. He's back up and running.
I think he was just waiting to see how bad the goalkeeper was injured.
Yeah.
So that maybe.
Take a look at what happens here. No, nothing in it at all. I don't even think he touched the keeper. The other end, all the way through to Chaine as they went the route one there. So all squared 1-1 if you've just joined us here. Pafos taking the early lead, 6th minute, and then Orlando Pirates equalizing through Relebohile Mofokeng after being set up beautifully with a beautiful pass from Oswin Appollis. And that's why we are all square at 1-1.
Slightly different this morning. Have we crossed over to the afternoon already? As I'm looking at Hotto, who normally bombs down the left-hand side of the channel to create width and crosses. This time around, I think he's started with a bit of caution. He's not bombing as much as you'd have seen him in the past. But I guess Appollis in front of him is also trying to adjust into opening the space up for him. Chaine coming out beautifully to make a clearance. From every now and then from Pafos, we see those long passes that you don't expect from them to come up with.
Deon Hotto. Sipho Mbule.
You'll hear Chaine obviously calling backing orders from the back.
Hotto thought about a shot momentarily. Looking for the reverse pass there. But in a tangle there with the Ken Seema. The left winger who tracks back quite well. And Ken Seema. Swedish footballer, Ken Seema, a physical specimen, operating down that left-hand side. And as we picked up here now by Relebohile Mofokeng, combines with Deon Hotto. Mofokeng again. This is nicer flowing move from Pirates Mbuthuma, who just managed to stay on side there. And that one breaks down. Okay, the lines there with Domingos Kina. Could be a chance here. And the flag goes up for offside against Relebohile Mofokeng.
Bit belated though. But from the time that I received the ball, actually if he had the chance, I'm sure he would have taken the shot before the whistle went. Papadodis.
Restart with the long ball, long punt. Correa. Closed down by Van Rooyen. Mbokazi operating at centre back on the left-hand side of there's two centre backs alongside Sibisi. Mofokeng. This is Appollis. As it opens up again, Relebohile Mofokeng trying to slip in a pass to Appollis. Now chance for Kabelo Dlamini. Just kept going wide.
I like him coming a little to the right-hand side of the channel because it allows him, the angle opens up for him to actually bend it into the far post and also he can also steal the near post in the same process. But if he comes from here, he's got only one angle to try and go for the far side, which sometimes if you hit right at the end of the boot, the ball just continues to spin wider.
Restart then for the goalkeeper. It's Thanos Papadoudis. We're approaching halftime. A scorching morning. 25 degrees is already, the temperature is already, we haven't even hit midday yet, and the temperature is already soaring to 25 degrees Celsius, which is a major contrast from what the Orlando Pirates players, what they left at home. The Southern Hemisphere winter was starting to bite. There we go, Papadoudis. That's Thanos Papadoudis in goal. Is Greek-born goalkeeper, and of course Cyprus, Greece, very close historically as well, not just geographically, historically as well.
Titi, this being a Sunday, I can't help but bring the religious side of Cyprus. This is obviously the city where John, one of Jesus' apostles, died. The last one who died a natural death. And exiled, of course.
Well, there you go. Don't need to go to church today. William Shongo has you covered.
I'm just thinking, probably if the team existed during that time, maybe, who knows, John, the one that Jesus loved the most, might have featured here. I just laughed when I saw the word, and I was like, surely this is a religious background here.
Gathered by Papadoudis. Yeah, Pirates have certainly turned things around in the second half of the half, if you like. They've dominated the last 20 minutes or so. In terms of possession, it was Pafos that started off better. They looked to settle quicker and even got the early goal. But then now, Pirates definitely have the ascendancy, even though haven't worked the keeper that much. Neither goalkeeper really has been worked that much.
Yeah, the big part of the game is happening in that center of the midfield. Likely to the right side occasionally, but I think two teams are not trying to break one another from a central point of view. And only the right inside of Orlando Pirates are playing with an out-and-out right-footed player in Mofokeng. But otherwise, the left-hand side is Appollis, followed up by Hotto, the left full-back, who hasn't ventured too much going forward.
If you are indeed experiencing a breakup of your picture, that is the quality as incoming, and we do apologize for that. To please bear with us. Now they've won it back here, have Pafos and can break with Correa. He has... in fact, I was... Alves, Jair Diego Alves, he had the Correa racing through the middle. Correa got the opening goal in the 7th minute before Relebohile Mofokeng equalized in the 24th minute. We approach half-time here. Free kick for Pafos. Switching play here to the right-hand side. This is Korea. Little cut back there from Ant-Man Pavlovsky.
Great cover from Van Rooyen.
Sibisi. That's the whistle then for half-time. And an evenly balanced first half of football here between these two sides. The Cypriots were those who settled the quickest, were out of the block fastest and got themselves the early goal, courtesy of João Correa, the Cabo Verde international. And then Relebohile Mofokeng equalizing after being released by the new man, that is Oswin Appollis. So half-time here at the Marbella.
On Europe's biggest stage, it's going to take her to lead from the front, and her to carry a country's hopes. It's going to take her to handle the pressure, and her to change the history of football. It takes her to be a hero at the UEFA Women's European Championship, and we're here for every game of it, only on Supersport, here for her.
Supersport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports updates 365 days a year.
Thalente Mbatha delivers again.
With a team of journalists and presenters at sports venues around the world, we've got you covered.
Lots and lots of excitement and an historic event, because for the very first time we'll have two current IBO champions coming to a head.
Stay informed with all our previews and reviews.
Always tough matches against her, but I'm glad that I was able to close this match in straight sets.
Stay ahead with fixtures, results, logs, and broadcast times for every major local and international sporting event, 24 hours a day as sports news unfolds. Stay in touch and follow us on X for all your sporting headlines on Africa's premier sports info channel. Supersport Blitz, proudly brought to you by APSA.
Pull on your green and gold and gear up for Bok Friday, your official build-up to the weekend Springbok action. From lacquer family chats to expert match previews and live performances, it's all about heart, heritage and homegrown heroes. Plus the best banter and behind-the-scenes stories. Bok Friday, live on Fridays before a match day at 7 p.m. Only on your World of Champions. Brought to you by FNB. How can we help you?
Sojourn to see who's the best. From Lille in the north to the Alps down southwest. You'll race towards Paris, leave your rivals forlorn, and climb the podium in the famous Maillot Jaune. It's more than a race, it's destiny, where cycling's brightest stars create history. The Tour de France, only on your World of Champions, Supersport. Proudly brought to you by Cecil Nurse and Marriott Investment Managers.
start shaking off the cobwebs and prepare for the 2025-26 season. We are bringing you a match between South Africa's Orlando Pirates up against Bolton Wanderers, who play their football now in League One, or the third tier of English football. Match being played here at the Marbella Football Centre. Could be something on here as Hotto races into the box. Oh, lovely flick there from Deon Hotto, and cleared off the line. First real threat there from Orlando Pirates as Mbokazi tries something from range. We've seen him do that last season and show that he's got a bit of range in the boot. There's Hotto, beautiful skills. Take a look at this.
Especially coming from the left-hand side. They'll be expecting him to go down that left-hand side with his pace.
As a corner comes in, rising well there, and eventually harmlessly over the top as the big centre back there look to get onto it. That's Josh Dakre Cogley, 29-year-old. Danger that Pirates poses. So every time Pirates win the ball, they drop back in numbers to Bolton Wanderers. Relebohile Mofokeng. Now, Mbule strikes it well. They struck that very well, but just wide. Sipho Mbule, first little sight that he's had on goal.
And that's what we know Mbule can do, have those shots at goals. He just needs to free himself.
Maybe test the Sipho Chaine for the first time in the game. Good challenge for the header. The Sipho Chaine comes out. Oh, mistimed it. Grim Completers mistimed his coming out there, and he's been beaten. We have an opening goal, and it's gone the way of Bolton Wanderers. Not the best goalkeeping there from Sipho Chaine. He was caught out, and Bolton Wanderers make the breakthrough.
They say they're the trotters. Remember earlier on when the game started, I said with the height that the players of Bolton Wanderers possesses, Pirates is going to be very wary and organized structure with this set piece. I mean, the second ball played, and the far post, a player not picked up, and he just hit at the back of the net.
Which is quite a sizable ball. It's Relebohile Mofokeng! The referee didn't saw something there. The keeper was beaten there. Did that ball go into the net? Well, the referee had seen something, but I think that Relebohile Mofokeng had hit the back of the net there.
Infringement from Sibisi. I mean, instead of him just standing 2 feet in front of the wall.
Mahopa finding Mabasa, heavy first touch. Kwaiba! Oh, the angle was a tight one, but nicely done. See that Pirates attacking trio of strikers, combining there Mahopa, Kwaiba, and Mabasa.
And one thing that we can give props to Kwaiba is that he managed to gel in very well, making that run. I just felt maybe if he could have cut it back for Mabasa again, but the defender was in the way. Heavy touch from Mabasa.
Going deep. Oh my goodness, again he was all at sea, was Melusi Mteles, and it's in the back of the net. Oh, he's looked already in the last just 2 minutes here. He really looked unsure. Of himself in that box. He's not commanding it. His physical presence, you expect a bit better. Bolton Wanderers double their lead.
Let's look at it again. He waits for the ball to go past him, and he wants to backtraddle to catch it in the far post. That's dangerous because now you're gonna collide. He collided with his own two players.
Tshepho Mashiloane down this right-hand side. Now slipping it through. It's a decent looking ball now, but didn't really get a hold of it, and a tame effort on goal easily.
A good run from Namatangela. That's his strength, one of his strengths.
And that's it. Final whistle then confirming a win for Bolton Wanderers. Oswin Appollis could have run out in the second half. But 2 goals conceded from set pieces then proved to be the undoing of Orlando Pirates in this first outing for them. Confirmation then, the final score, Orlando Pirates against Bolton Wanderers of the third tier of the English Premier, or at least of English football, in this first outing at the Marbella Football Centre. It's ended Orlando Pirates 0, Bolton Wanderers 2.
To me, winning means fitting all the small puzzles to get the bigger picture and supporting your team.
Winning shows unity, our love for each other and our love for the game. It ties us all together.
What I love the most about netball, I learned to respect and I learned teamwork.
Winning means that you see all the effort you put into the year and then you get to celebrate it with your team.
Mina njengoba umdlali wenetball ndifuna ukudlalela phesheya ndiphumelele. Mina inetball ngiyafisa ukuthi ngise emazweni aphezulu ngize ngicine sengifana noBunge Msomi.
With the DSTV School Netball Challenge, I started learning the passion for the sport and I've really been enjoying it a lot.
I think it's any player's dream to be in a World Cup because you get to measure yourself against the top players in different countries.
DSTV School's Netball Challenge has given me a chance to give back to all the young superstars coming up out there. You can actually see the impact that it does over the years.
Winning, in her words, a celebration of the DSTV Schools Netball Challenge.
Pull on your green and gold and gear up for Bok Friday, your official build-up to the weekend Springbok action. From lacquer family chats to expert match previews and live performances, it's all about heart, heritage and homegrown heroes. Plus the best banter and behind-the-scenes stories. Bok Friday, live on Fridays before a match day at 7 p.m. Only on your World of Champions. Brought to you by FNB. How can we help you?
Supersport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports updates 365 days a year.
Thalente Mbatha delivers again.
With a team of journalists and presenters at sports venues around the world, we've got you covered.
Lots and lots of excitement and an historic event because for the very first time we'll have two current IBO champions coming to a head.
Stay informed with all our previews and reviews.
Always tough matches against her, but I'm glad that I was able to close this match in straight sets.
Stay ahead with fixtures, results, logs and broadcast times for every major local and international sporting event 24 hours a day as sports news unfolds. Stay in touch and follow us on X for all your sporting headlines on Africa's premier sports info channel. Supersport Blitz, proudly brought to you by ABSA.
In 2024, we came, we saw, we conquered. Oh, look at Vic. Vic is excited. People are saying, what are they doing?
It's so awesome.
We did okay on the field too.
The Springboks prevail once again.
Final whistle side entry is back for the new season with a bomb squad full of special guests, because talking about the green and gold never gets old. Join us on the Final Whistle side entry show, giving you all you need to know about all things Springboks. Proudly brought to you by FNB.
Oh, the places you'll ride. Over mountains, through vistas and valleys so wide. Sometimes on gravel and bumpy delight. Sometimes downhill where the bravest take flight. You'll ride over cobbles with the wind at your back. You'll reach the big climbs and go on the attack. The road will rise up and your legs will protest, but the fire inside you will conquer the test. Along Spain's rugged terrain where the beauty leaves you in awe. Along Italy's rolling hills, past vineyards, monuments and more. Over the mountains of France, past the scenic chateau, to the Champs-Élysées where the champions go. So clip in, pedal forward, don't let your courage fall short. Oh, the places you'll ride with your World of Champions Supersport. Proudly brought to you by Cecil Nurse and Marriott Investment Managers.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
The world's best football on the world's best football package. DSTV Compact. It's on.
Welcome back to the Marbella Football Center here in Malaga in the south of Spain. This is the venue, of course, for Orlando Pirates as they continue with their... Welcome back to the Marbella Football Center. This is the venue for Orlando Pirates preseason camp here as they play their second warm-up match. They're up against the Cypriot champions, the champions of Cyprus, Pafos. It's all square as we go into the second half at 1-1. Pafos taking the lead. And was Orlando Pirates drawing level about in the 24th minute through Relebohile Mofokeng. So, as we anticipated and as we were informed, it's wholesale changes for the second half. Starting in goal, where for Orlando Pirates, they have got now young Dladla is taking over the Siyabonga Dladla, taking over in goal from Sipho Chaine. On Friday in their first warm-up or first practice match, we saw Pirates use Chaine and Buthelezi as Dladla is immediately tested there. A little something to see whether he's been awake while he's on the bench, but more than equal to it. So just based on the first half, William Shongwe is alongside me this afternoon. What did you make of what you saw in that first half?
Besides the slow start for Orlando Pirates, I think they were able to pick up, and we saw a little bit of the Orlando Pirates that we know, because they were able to build up from the back with great combinations, and they started playing a little bit higher, applying the high press. They really had Pafos under a whole lot of pressure, which was very impressive. And at the end, you couldn't see which was a team playing in Europe or a team playing in South Africa, which I liked very much. The players settled in and they started playing their style. Like I said, for me, my only worry was that maybe the slow start was based on the warm-up, which they feared, of course, that was a bit warm. Maybe they didn't want to leave too much into the warm-up. Sometimes that's what coaches make.
Orlando Pirates who will still... Now, good turn there and an opportunity here. Closed down and stopped in his track by Nkosinathi Sibisi, who also seems to have taken a knock there in that collision. With Domingos Quina. And it looks, yeah, we'll need to get some good strong running here. Well, I think it was nothing intentional. Quino's there just catching with his knees up there, catching Nkosinathi Sibisi in the chest. No malicious intent, and I think he's just going to check that he's okay. He went up there really to take evasive action and lifted his knees up a bit, and that collided with Sibisi, came out to make the blocker. And Domingos Quina in your picture, Portuguese footballer, born in Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
It has represented Portugal at youth level.
Which still opens up for him to feature for Guinea-Bissau.
Of course, until he has represented the national team, he can still decide to switch nationalities. His father played in defense for Portugal, Samuel Quina. So I don't know if that hint of perhaps where he might choose to go as well. He's played all his football at junior level for Portugal. Actually was one time on the books of West Ham United in the in the English Premier League. That was back in the mid-2015s and then maybe 2010s. Also played for Watford. And last season was his first season with Pafos. Sibisi is back on his feet. We were told that he wouldn't come out. In fact, there are a lot of players I'm seeing there that Pirates, we had been told they'll field an entirely changed for 11, but at least 10 changes were going to be made. But I'm seeing Kabelo Dlamini, there's Hotto is out there.
Sibisi is still there.
Sibisi is out there. So clearly, they didn't go that route. They opted to keep a few more, keep the combinations together for a little longer. Mbatha is still out there.
Talking about Queen again, if he's featured so prominently in some of the best European countries, playing football there, like in the English Premiership, I doubt if he can make it. If he hasn't made it,
could be something on here. Say, trying to attack through Korea there. Mofokeng still out there
on the right-hand side of the attack, as we saw him in that first half. I was thinking at some stage maybe between him and Appollis, there might just be some change. But with Moremi, who's more comfortable playing on the left side of the attack, so he will stay. So means Mofokeng will stay on the right because Moremi is more left-footed. Maybe this time to create a bit of width instead of playing with an inverted.
I think that Appollis is still out there. So I don't think they've made that change as yet.
Okay.
As Deano Van Rooyen tries to slip in a pass. It's a beautiful pass. So Boitumelo Radiopane tries to beat the keeper. The Radiopane has come on in the second half. Just tries to beat the keeper on his near post there.
In the place of Mbuthuma. And you'd have been impressed to see Radiopane in that COSAFA Cup for me. Maybe a bit shaky in that first game, but his second winner became a very key player for South Africa. And he just grew in confidence and he became the main player. His hold-up ability and also his quick turn and the high press. You know, I was very, very impressed. And maybe this is one season that he will show his true colors, and it's been promising for the most part, but never really showed.
Dlamini, safety first anyway, will do as it's hacked away by Anderson Oliver.
Yeah, Anderson does drop off in the case of set pieces to help out defensively because he's a big boy.
Thinking of Mofokeng is making himself available there, but Dlamini goes direct. Korea, who scored the opening goal, and is caught as he just tries to clear that one.
Yeah, Appollis is still in the field of play. So I'm just trying to think where did Moremi even come in at all?
For a free kick here then for Pafos, who made their debut in the European club competition last season, playing in the European Conference League. And in the next season, they will be making their debut in the Champions League, having won the Cyprus' first division for the very first time in the club's history.
2014, this is how high they've gone.
Yeah, to be formed in 2014 and making a Champions League debut 11 years later, that's pretty impressive. Korea, let's rather that one is left for Korea, who will take the throw. Cross coming in, and that's easy for young Dladla.
And of course, for those that haven't seen him, I can't quite remember the game that I featured for Orlando Pirates, and they won the game. Of course, I was so impressed with his handling, his just technical ability. And obviously he's got a little bit of height about him, so he comes out for all the crosses, but he's a little on the thin side. And having said that, I was just as thin myself, so so people are very concerned whether I'll be able to make or create the presence that normally goalkeeper needs to come out for high balls into that area. So very impressed with his ability to start with. So goalkeeper coach there has done a good job to help him develop to this level.
24 years old. So as far as goalkeepers go, he is
only in the beginning.
Spring chicken.
Yes. So got a lot of years ahead of him. Yeah, a lot of experience to grow.
Still a lot of developing to do, as you're saying. I made his one appearance in
Betway Premiership,
South African Premier League last season as a ball's whipped in. Rather, it was Sipho Chaine that has dominated as the first choice.
Yeah, Relebohile with the fleek there, but he doesn't get it right. But, you know, like I said, for me, he's not the tallest of strikers, but he's got a good spring underneath his feet. And he attacks the ball, he's not afraid to get stuck into things there. He actually was pushed in a way, but not that the referee thought had any impact to have him given a foul. But I like him. He's really developing well for a player that has so much problems with injuries and, you know, and being loaned away to Spurs. Helped Spurs to qualify, but just never got it going to command a regular place in that starting lineup. Back to Pirates. But he's back now. It looks like maybe this one season might just be the one.
Came off the bench in fact, started, beg your pardon, that first warm-up match against Bolton Wanderers. Yeah, never really got going. That's in that particular game, didn't get a lot of service. As Pafos now looking to build out the back again. They've made a few changes I can see out there as well of Pafos. We'll just talk you through those as and when we spot them. Ivan Sunčića, I see, is out there as one in midfield. As Van Rooyen has penalized for the challenge on Domingos Kina.
He's one of those that plays in his vetted, is Domingos. And Van Rooyen caught by his pace there, a little bit of trickery to drop the shoulder to the left and then cut into the right.
We've got a free kick here then to Pafos. Chance to test Dladla. Dladla was promoted from the juniors, or from the reserve side of Orlando Pirates last season. Ended up making just the solitary appearance. And it comes in, and that's easy for the keeper.
Easier said than done, Titi. for a youngster playing at this level. But yes,
just was overhit there. There's a great ball now. Could be a chance here. What a challenge to deny Appollis. I think he dilly-dallied a little too long there, Appollis, and allowed the defender there, George Scaffy, to recover and put in a solid challenge. Beautifully timed tackle there by George Scaffy.
If you realize, Appollis, that the defender had committed, push it a little bit, then the defender is out of the way completely, and he can actually from there go on and round the goalkeeper.
Great recovery, but it's a corner here, and of course Kabelo Dlamini has come across to take it. Set piece specialist away from the danger area. Appollis will keep it or let it go out. We'll take the throw in instead.
You know what? I actually am very impressed with Coach Wadu, because I was thinking about the wholesale change that we're talking about, and that can take the tempo of the game completely out. So by bringing them in paces, just as the best situation, you don't want to drop the tempo completely.
Well, that's what they did on Friday. They made wholesale changes at halftime, putting in a whole new 11.
Doesn't work out. It's not the best at all. Because it means like it's beginning of the game and the opposition has already been in it for the whole 45 minutes. So they'll be ahead, like way ahead.
But is it not about what you are hoping to achieve from that game? As Mofokeng, as the referee plays an advantage there. Appollis, Hotto, chance to turn here and puts it wide as Radiopane.
That's the one part that's still lacking in his game today. I'm telling you, he gets into the area and his hold-up play is one of his biggest. He's strong. Like I said, he's not the biggest or tallest, but he's strong. And as it turns, obviously, maybe just misses the target by inches there.
1 goal in 14 appearances last season for Orlando Pirates for Boitumelo Radiopane.
And it was a penalty.
Hasn't had a lot of opportunity. Again, injuries were a problem.
Yeah.
He's had a career that has really been blighted by injuries.
But I guess even a new coach, when he arrives, he knows exactly who's in the zoo. He would have worked it out that he would have seen the quality elsewhere, and you won't believe it. The amount of knowledge that Wadu brings, the knowledge of the South African players, even before he came. I'll surprise you. He even knew. I once even mentioned my name in the midst of those that he knew. But David Ntwane, who is a development coach at Mamelodi Sundowns, Wadu knew him just by looking at him. And David Ntwane introduced himself, says, "I know you. You are at Mamelodi Sundowns. You are the DCC coach, and you guys have done very well. You've produced great players." And David was like, "Wow."
He's been slowly doing a lot of his homework, Wadu, and he's now been given the responsibility here. It's going to be a bit of a rebuild again, given the number of players that Orlando Pirates have signed. And look, lessons would have been learned from last season, campaigning on the continent, and then also pushing on the domestic front takes a lot out of players, so you need the depth. You need the depth. There's going to be an international, at the end of it, there's an international tournament in the form of African Cup of Nations. Those players who are going to be called up there, you will need some fresh legs to help them out when those players come back, when the league resumes. Now, here come the wholesale changes then that we thought would come at the start of the second half. Yeah, it looks like it's all changed now. As Wadu wants to have a look at a different group now. Seema there, signed from, was in the foreground of your picture. They signed from TS Galaxy. That's Lebone Seema. Among those who's come on, I saw Maswanganyi is checked in as well. So new combinations for Wadu to look at.
Exactly. You talk about the heavy legs after all the games that the team has to play, but he still has to work with the combinations of what is going to work. Which is, of course, is not the easiest thing to be able to build up.
Kimvuidi there loses out, and could be problems here. As done well here, have Pafos to keep this alive. And that man Kenya. Goal, that's going to be a corner, or is it stay? Yeah, well kept in play by Kimvuidi. Throw in, it'll be for Pafos on the near side. The ball in his hands, and there now is Bruno Langa, the Mozambican.
Yes,
William Shongwe was referencing earlier on.
Left full back. Let's see who came out. Probably Seema, the Swedish defender.
Seema was playing down that left wing in that first half.
Yeah.
It's a great ball now. Radiopane a little isolated. He's going to have to go on his own and Keeper had that near post covered.
And with the angle tightening up, it will also work to an advantage for the goalkeeper to cover the angle better. It's the same situation, I think, where the goal for Pafos came from. That's why I thought maybe Chaine should have done a little bit better in being able to cover it. Maybe, I think lacking the power from Radiopane in this instant made it easy for the goalkeeper.
Putting pressure high up here, Pafos.
Oh, living
Good
dangerous is
pressure.
one of the parts, yeah.
Yeah, good pressure. Very good press there being applied by Pafos. Didn't do much of that in the first half. This is Lebone Seema on the right-hand side here of defense.
In the place of Van Rooyen.
Kimvuidi, the Congolese. Joined up Kimvuidi a day late with the squad, having arrived from Paris. I'm not sure whether that was with permission or what. And that could be a disciplinary demerit for him.
You talk about players arriving late. I can't help but think about one player who played for Maritzburg from the Ivory Coast, Hamza. Just about every time he goes away, you'll be sure that he's going to arrive back at Maritzburg a week later. And you obviously have all the right reasons why that happened. And eventually, the boss man got enough of that. If you don't want to come back, just stay home.
Mashiloane is also being included down this right-hand side. Tshepho Mashiloane signed from Baroka FC. Free kick will go the way of Orlando Pirates. The challenge on Maswanganyi. Referee not happy with that.
You hear sandwich between two players, one shove from the upper body and another tackle lower.
Free kick it is in for Orlando Pirates, Kimvuidi and Maswanganyi. Maswanganyi has you would fancy on this one. Haven't seen a great deal of what Kimvuidi can do from set piece time. Didn't get a lot of game time last season, Karim Kimvuidi. Congolese signed from Maritzburg United, who will be returning to the top flight of South African football as Durban City.
Disappointing from Maswanganyi. Too high to even bother the goalkeeper. But he's one of those that has the sweetest left foot in the league.
But nowhere near the target there. From Patrick Maswanganyi. Tough second season out it was for him. Suffered a bit injuries here and then, of course. Also a lot of a loss of form in the latter stages of the season. He's such an important player to Orlando Pirates in terms of what they do. Is one of those talismanic players, and they've got that X factor, can make things happen out of nothing. He's going to be an important player again for the season coming up.
I guess eventually he carried a lot on his shoulders because so much was expected of him, and that does put you under so much pressure that you end up, you know, if you can't handle it properly psychologically, it can affect your form. And of course, the injuries just added a big factor to it.
Had to face all manner of challenges. There were question marks around about discipline as well.
Yeah.
Last season, but new season affords an opportunity for a clean start and a refocus. Is Langa, who's currently on loan, by the way. The Langa on the ball now. He's on loan from the Spanish club Almeria. Hails from Maputo, where he started his professional football with Mashakane. He's played for Mozambique at the junior under-20 level and also for the national team. So made his debut in 2016 for the national team.
Was in Mozambique over the weekend. I got to see Makamo, if you remember him, formerly with Kaizer Chiefs. Played for the national team. Actually, I'd taken a village team, traveled with the village team to Mozambique just to give them experience, play some of the teams there.
What's a village team?
From my village.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. What's a village team?
And got to meet Makamo, met you, Madlazi, if you remember him, formerly with Kaizer Chiefs. Also, I played for Manzimini Wanderers in Swaziland, one of the legends there. Great experience the boys had there.
Mario Celia, the player you just saw there in your picture momentarily, one of those just introduced in the second half as goal kick and a water break called. Cooling break. Yeah, second half yet to really get going. Both sides, neither side is quite settled in yet into a pattern, but of course you expect that with all the changes that have been made by the two coaches.
Goes without saying.
Yeah.
There's always a drop, especially if you bring that many changes in one go, which I thought was wise from the coach to bring them gradually into the team, because I think the experience of the first game that they lost to Bolton was a big result of why things just didn't happen for Orlando Pirates.
That's an opportunity early on at the start of the second half for Radiopane. You can see what he was trying to do, but he would have needed to put a lot more on it there to beat the keeper. It's Michael Neophytos, who's been introduced at the start of the second half.
So show some of the highlights that we saw, and this brilliant block from Kafi, of course, as Appollis tries to snap a shot. And then Radiopane with the 10 here. Under a bit of pressure, maybe lost a bit of balance before he tried to slot it home. And then this weak shot from the left-hand side, and you've got to get the sense that it's not one of his strongest feet. And Maswanganyi with the set piece, eventually it went way over the bar.
And that's about as close as we've come in terms of opportunities in the second half. Radiopane this time looking to turn provider. Not a bad ball played in for wide on the right-hand side. Simphiwe Selepe, late arrival into the box, looking to get on to the end of it. As the players coming from, as mentioned, temperatures 25 degrees and rising. Clear blue skies. Perfect conditions in this resort town of Marbella. The venue, the Marbella Football Center, is used by all kinds of football clubs around the world. Not as busy as it was last season, given the fact that you've got an international tournament that's underway in the United States, where a lot of clubs that descended here, or teams that descended on the venue, even ahead of the Euros.
now the big question is, after the FIFA Cup finals in the USA, are they still going to have go through the same process in as far as preseason is concerned? Because now the league is not going to wait for them to come back and rest, and you know. So,
well, I suppose those players that are involved at the Club World Cup will have to be given a break of some maybe in another 2 weeks or something before they get to connect with the rest of the club for pre-season. Well, yeah, all the players will need a bit of a break.
But I'm talking about the prioritization of how many weeks do you spend for pre-season. They won't be afforded that, not unless you got a big squad that will start the season. So it's a bit of a catch-22.
Well, I think they're going to just have a shorter break than they would have had normally.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a choice. This is good running here from Langa. Working it wide now. Possibilities here for Pafos. They've got a corner. As operating down that left-hand side is Mislav Orsic. Trying to get the ball in there. The Orsic, the Croatian. He's a Croatian international. He's been kept by his country here. Lining up the corner here.
There's lots of Brazilians as well in this team that maybe we haven't started in this game.
Hooked into the words, the near post there. Langa helps it on. Doing very well here, Pafos, and trying something with the outside of the boot there. Trying to curl it in was Bruno Felipe. Bruno Felipe, one of the Brazilians that Brazilians and Portuguese plenty in the squad. And
you're gonna know if you are able to import Brazilians, then you're gonna have a good budget, and your aspiration as a team are going to be such that you want to win things. So they're in that very same spot right now. If they're going to really make progress in the international competitions, you've got to be able to sign the best from outside.
Bruno Felipe, also one of the more experienced players in the side, 31 years old. So not just bringing in Brazilian talent, but bringing in experienced Brazilian talent. He's signed in 2023. Was Bruno Felipe, 31-year-old. Guided back by Mashiloane to Dladla. Here come Orlando Pirates now looking to build. Here comes Mashiloane combining with Maswanganyi. Mashiloane keeps his run going. Now, I can see what the idea was there, but they just guided it towards the keeper there, Tshepang Moremi, who's more of a central role than you're accustomed to seeing it.
Yes.
He likes to play down the wing.
I think he's taken Dlamini's place because that's where Dlamini operates as well as maybe half number 10, because between him and Maswanganyi, they're playing in that offensive part of the three in that middle.
Normally plays down the right side as of attack as a winger, does Moremi, but with the left foot cutting in on his left foot. Maswanganyi to Mashiloane. Whipping it in there towards the near post, Mashiloane. Ooh, almost a mix up there with between the keeper and defender. The defender looking for the keeper to come and collect it from his feet. And
the keeper is not too sure because the ball is not coming too quickly to him. And if he comes out and he commits, and then the striker comes and just jabs it or toe pokes it,
your feet
total confusion.
Mihaela Neofitos in goal for Pafos. And a change of goalkeeper for them as well in the second half. So a little over 12 minutes to play, or just under 12 minutes to play in this one. There's 4 matches scheduled for Orlando Pirates on this camp, or at least on this trip. And we still have a couple more, 2 more matches that they'll be playing. One lined up against Grenada, that's the Spanish side.
They're going big there.
Might as well get the taste of really experienced,
it's not
high-level competition as Maswanganyi floats one in. Working it wide. So
now you got to understand, they start with Bolton Wanderers, maybe a lesser competitive side, and then they graduate to this one, which is a bit more competitive. As the season progresses, you want the tempo of the game to be a lot higher, the speed of the game, and the tension and everything. So you see, they couldn't play Granada right from the beginning because that would have been a lot heavier for the players to cope with. So there's also planning into the nature of friendlies that you play at a certain time of the preseason.
Well, they've got Las Palmas and Granada still to come, which according to the schedule that I've seen is they're scheduled for the same day. I imagine they might play 2, well, we're obviously going to have to play 2 different sides in that one, in those games. That's on the 19th, next Saturday, is when they'll be concluding this camp. Now, looking to get forward with great energy, and Mbokazi will shepherd it behind for a goal kick. Keeping possession nicely here, but also being forced backwards. Now, going something over the top here for Radiopane. Bit lonely up front there. Well, on Friday, we saw at some point Pirates had Terofatso Mabasa, Mahopa, and I think it was, no, it wasn't a Butuba, it was just trying to recall who they had, like a 3-pronged Kwaiba, Snokolo Kwaiba, and the 3 of them up front. I mean, you can imagine that if they can get a combination like that going, it would be a nightmare for defenses. You rarely saw Mahopa and Mabasa in the same starting lineup for Orlando Pirates. They tended Rivera tended to play one or the other.
But you see, in such a situation, then you've got to bring a lot of creative midfielders, because the creativity in such games where Mofokeng plays, it's a little bit higher. And when you get those 3, you need a bit more in the middle to deliver for those 3.
Have won it back here, have Pafos. George Michael. It's number 24 there on the ball, Michael George.
Well, when you say George Michael, I'm thinking...
Yeah, not that one.
It's got a big name, eh? Yeah, good rotation of the ball defensively from Pafos. And maybe Pirates just affording them a space to do that. Just making sure that that midfield is tightly watched.
Martin switching it up again now. Langa. Is that well, yeah? And then closed down by Mbokazi. Good sweeping there from him to stop Bruno Langa. Mozambican. Now, see what they can do here. Pafos again, nice, some nice interpassing here. Moving the ball around very nicely. Those Pirates didn't get men behind the ball.
Once again, maybe the coaches just decided, you know, that they're sitting nice and well. They're blocking all the passages in that middle. So let's build a bit more. Let's play a bit more. See if that is going to work out for us. And when you do that, when you build a bit more, it means anywhere in the field where you have the ball, you have more players. Even when you lose it, the possibility of a high press to win it back immediately are higher.
We've got a free kick here, Orlando Pirates. 5 minutes remaining.
The lack of goals in the second half doesn't necessarily mean that the half was that dull. There's just a lot of positive play, creativity that we've seen.
Mentioned Pirates having 2 more matches that they've got scheduled. For Pafos, this is to be their last warm-up match before they now get into the proper qualifying rounds of the UEFA Champions League. As I mentioned, that they have qualified for the first time for that competition as champions, but they still have to go through the qualification rounds in order to get into the main group draw. And they'll start that against Maccabi Haifa of Tel Aviv on the 22nd. They'll play them home and away. Lining it up here is Mislav Orsic, the Croatian.
Is it Pirates just taking the foot off the pedal, or is it Pafos maybe upping the tempo?
I think so. In the second half, Pafos have the approach has been different. I think I've seen them apply a bit more of a press in the second half, so they've changed things up a little bit in the second half. In comes a free kick and a glancing header there, but Pirates defend as well. And Maswanganyi now will try to get them. Will try to get them moving forward as Moremi, it's taken off his toes there by Mislav.
I'm not sure just how well he's going to fit into that number 10 position alongside with the double pivot in that middle alongside Maswanganyi. I like him on the wide, whether as inverted on the right hand side or wide on the left.
He's got the pace,
definitely,
to bother, and he likes to take on defenders. I don't expect to see him in this central role, and he'll be competing, I guess, with Mahongota down the right-hand side. Mahongota we haven't seen yet. He is part of a traveling team. There's also Ndlozi, of course, that Pirates have. But he will still be looking as well now in the second season with Pirates to impose him or get into or force his way into the side.
At least maybe Ndlozi, sometimes he operates a little bit more at the back, on the right foot back position.
Now, Moremi. Pass the ball, move the ball. You can hear the shout from Wadu on the sideline there. Wants to see the ball move a bit more faster. Dladla hardly been tested in this second half since he took over from Chaine. Good awareness by the goalkeeper there, awareness of where he was. Didn't try to handle it, and we headed it out, and the flag was up for offside as we are now approaching 90th minute. Not much really to enthuse about and talk about. Pirates, I was interested in seeing how they'll fare at set piece time, having been exposed a bit by Bolton Wanderers in that first practice match that they had on Friday. They haven't really had to defend a set piece in this game.
No, not a lot.
Well, certainly not from a corner. So I haven't really seen how they shape up better in those scenarios. Maswanganyi has carried on his run once the return ball. There's a body check there on Radiopane, the referee says play on. Bruno Felipe playing the ball backwards. Throw in on the far side. Bruno Felipe will take it. One of three Brazilians in this squad is Bruno Felipe, along with Jaja, who's an attacker, and another attacker, Anderson Silva. And now into stoppage time at the end of the regulation 90. Get your thoughts, William Shongwe, on what Wadu would have learned this morning.
There's always something to learn. I mean, at the beginning of the season, it's his new team, and just understand the players, what they can handle psychologically, and obviously just understand their abilities as well. Because as a coach, you always look to how can I use this one, which combinations, and let's look at what happens here.
That's a great advantage played by the referee there, as Kimvuidi was quite clearly being pulled back, and Kimvuidi, credit to him, didn't try to go down or stop playing. He kept going, and the referee seemed to be playing an advantage, and he seemed to be tugged back, and that's it. That's the whistle then from a referee to end this one. Pirates then, that's 2 matches played. So Dansin also points out that there was a foul there, referee. But didn't get much on the ball in there. But yeah, 2 matches played now, drew one and lost one for Orlando Pirates, although one should really be careful about attaching too much importance to the result in these kind of exercises. Final thoughts just from you, William Shongwe.
Indeed, for me, like you said, there's just so much beside the result. It's just the combinations and just to see the character and the psychological factor, how the players are going to handle this pressure.
So one final time then, this one at the Marbella Football Center has ended. Pafos FC 1, Orlando Pirates of South Africa 1.